Hello, everybody. Dana Lyons here with the Cows with Guns report. Tonight we are backstage.
It's okay.
It's called branding.
No, I'm into it.
Get it?
Yes, I get it.
Yep,
Yes,
that was my second bad pun. Jim works.
There will be more with it.
We're backstage in the Bellingham Firehouse Theater. We just had some Hungarian mushroom soup, which was outstanding.
Hungarian hungry soup.
I'm standing.
I was pretty hungry by the time I got into town, and I called up Dana and I said, "Come on down. There's some mushroom soups getting ready to eat." And he pulled up his car, off the street and said hello. And I said, "Hi." He said, "Where's the grub?" I said, "We don't have grub. We got cuisine." He says, "Oh, I see what you mean." We sat down and started eating, and I said, "Wait a minute, I thought I was supposed to do an interview." He says, "Who?" I says, "You." He says, "Me?" He says, "Yeah." "No, not me. You. Us." So we ate, and here we are.
You can keep going.
No. Every song has an ending. You should know that.
Every song has an ending. That may be the most important thing that you learn on this YouTube series.
You should call it Us Tube.
Us Tube.
We Tube. This is the We Tube.
The We Tube. The We Tube.
Yeah.
I am here. This is Jim Page. Jim is up from Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Jim and I go way back.
Over there.
Way back. And I introduced, we went down to buy Jim a battery for his
74,
tuner.
something like that? When was that? I remember you doing Our State as a Dump Site. That's when I met you.
85.
85?
85.
Okay, got it.
I think we met backstage in the Moore Theater when Jackson Browne and Bonnie Raitt were there. You probably don't remember that, but
Okay.
I remember I was meeting all these exciting...
Okay.
I met Jackson Browne, Bonnie Raitt, Jim Page. I remember that.
Was John Trudell there?
He was
That's
not
how
there
I
that
got in.
night. He was not there that
Okay,
night.
I got in some other way.
It was the it was a fundraiser for the guy who flew. He flew bombing missions over in Vietnam and Cambodia, and then when he got out of the military, he was a doctor, and then he went to Nicaragua and gave free medical. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I'm
forgetting his name. A real
I could
hero.
come up with it, but not right
Yeah,
now.
that's where we met a long time ago.
Okay.
So Jim, I heard you stopped at Occupy Bellingham.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. I know you've played at Seattle. You've stopped at Bellingham. I don't know if you've been to any others. What's your take currently on the Occupy movement?
It's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. I mean, I was not old enough to have any brains when the civil rights stuff was going on. Voter registration and all that. Martin Luther King. I mean, some of that stuff was going on, but I was still living at home, or I was just getting out, or I was getting stoned or something, so I wasn't paying attention. This is really, really exciting to me. To me, it seems like people are thinking in public. They're thinking out loud in public. You start with the premise that this is all wrong, and it has to change. I can't do it by myself, so we're going to have to do it together. We don't have a public forum. The society doesn't offer us one. The newspapers don't represent us. The radio doesn't represent us. TV doesn't represent us. So we go to the public park, and we take it because we're the public. It's named after us. So we go to the public park, and we occupy it, and that becomes our public forum. And you start where you are. It doesn't matter if you don't know very much. Whoever said you can't talk just because you don't have a... Oh, that's right. Dixie Lee Ray used to say that. Remember her? She was the head of the Atomic Energy Commission under Richard Nixon. She was the governor of Washington State for 4 years. I think just 4. And she opened it up for waste. That's why you wrote that song. And when people challenged her, Greenpeace people, whoever it was, challenged her on her stuff, she would ask for their degrees. Wow. She would say, "I have a degree. Do you have a degree?" And if you didn't have a degree, she wouldn't talk to you.
Really?
Yeah. So people like that say that. But in reality, we have the right to talk whether we know or not. As long as we're sincerely looking for the answers, actually sincerely have a question and are looking to change things. And that's what people are doing. They're gathering and they're talking, and they're starting from where they are with what they know. Some people are real experienced and real smart, and some people just woke up just now, just the other day. So there they are. So it's great, and it's all over the country, and it's in different countries. In parts of Europe, there's Occupy Dublin, Occupy Galway. There's Occupy Trafalgar Square in London. People in Italy have occupied an art gallery. It seems to me that the idea is that the world is upside down and needs to be turned right side up, which is something I think Marx said about 150 years ago. And it's true. It's actually true. So I think instinctually, people understand that it's upside down, and the only way to turn it right side up is through force of numbers. And at this point, no one's going to tell anybody else what to do because we don't really know what's up yet. Okay, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to do it in public. And it drives some people crazy.
Yeah,
it drives the right wingers crazy because they want, like Dixie Lee Ray, they want you to have a degree, and they want you to have everything figured out before you open your mouth.
Yeah, and it's so complex.
Well, it is complex.
And that I'm not sure what. I mean, it is, everything's upside down. What are we going to do to turn it around? And that's the fascinating thing. Like you say, the conversations. I was there.
It's all in public.
It's fascinating. Like my friends Tim and Christina brought their family, and I think Morgan's 9 and Casey's 13. But it was really fun to watch these boys walk amongst all these incredible conversations that are going around. I'm listening to the conversations. I mean, this is fascinating.
Yeah. Because people that people that you didn't even know existed will come out and say something from their experience that's different than your experience, and so it's like, wow, I never thought of it like that. You hear these things, it's amazing. I think also that certain of the forces that control, certain of the control forces, are assuming that the winter will take care of most of this.
Right.
Okay. Imagine occupying the city park in Minneapolis through the wintertime.
Yeah, I mean,
40 below zero.
Yeah, I was raised in upstate New York, and I know the reality of surviving through one of those winters.
Yeah, you don't want to, So, but it's okay. I think it's okay to have a camp and leave it, and just maybe leave one person to watch over it or something, or
Yes, and the bottom line is, unless you have a $500 bag, you can't survive. You can't be comfortable in Manhattan during winter.
Right.
I just think the camp someone's going to need to donate an old store or a warehouse, and the camp will move in there, and they'll continue having the meetings.
It will. Because in the end, what they're occupying is not the space in the park. They're occupying the space of attention in America. Okay? Right. That's what they're occupying, the intellectual space of attention in America. And that's what needs to be occupied, or deoccupied. Liberated, shall we say, but we haven't gotten around to using that word yet, but that's, that sort of thing. And it occurred to me the other day, I don't know if this is right or not, but it occurred to me that the most formidable enemy that we have, the most dangerous enemy that we have, is the one who owns our memory. Not the guy with the gun, not the guy with the tank, not the guy with the atomic bomb, but the one who owns our memory. If we can take our memories back.
I've heard people quote Bob Marley 4 times this week: emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And I think, I just think, whoa. I think that's what is going on now.
It is. It really is. So I think the idea, which is the important part, will survive the winter. And then when people start going back to the occupation, who knows? I don't know. I'm just shooting off my mouth. If they start, then it's going to get interesting. Like, what is the state going to do? I have no idea. But there are mayors that agree with it. I read, what was it, Albany, New York, where the mayor of Albany said, arrest all those people that are occupying. I want them gone. And the police department said, okay, fine. The district attorney came out and said, well, you can do it if you want to, but I'm not going to prosecute anybody who was arrested in that occupation.
Wow.
And so it all just fizzled. Because so you've got stuff like that going on that makes this profoundly interesting. Mm-hmm. It is actually a possibility for major international change.
Jim, I think it's fascinating to watch. I know you got to go on stage in a little while. Do you have a song that you like to play that goes along with this theme, or anything else?
My country has been stolen, I ain't lying down. I want to make a lot of noise, I'm going to spread it all around. I will not be the meek one, sit back and biting my tongue. I dare somebody to tell me not to sing this song. 'Cause these are some big words that we all learned in school. Words to build a country by or give notice to a fool. I took the liberty to rhyme them all, the easier to sing. Maybe it'll help to make the pendulum swing. 'Cause this is my declaration. It's your declaration too. So let's live up to it and see what we can do. Yeah, let's go see what we can do. We hold these truths to be self-evident. And that means that everyone can see that we are all created equal. Yeah, and that means that you are just like me, with certain inalienable rights. And that means that they are ours to keep, like a life, liberty, and happiness. Oh, don't it make you want to weep? Now, to support these rights, we institute our governments. They get their powers from us, they govern by our consent. And should any one of them become destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish them. Yes, this is my declaration. It's your declaration too. So let's live up to it. See what we can do. Yeah, let's go see what we can do. When in the course of human events, the time has finally come to where you bandit governments your race has almost run. These words were written more than 200 years ago. Catching up with history, it moves so slow. It moves so slow. Government should not be changed for light or transient cause. But when abuse and usurpations become the rule of law, it is the right, it is the duty of the people to respond. To throw off such a government and move on. Move on. Yes, this is my declaration. Your declaration too, that's what it says. So let's live up to it. See what we can do. Cause this is my declaration. Your declaration too. So let's live up to it. See what we can do. Yeah, let's go see what we can do.
Thank you, Jim.
A little raggedy, but there it is.
Is that on an album?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
All right.
It seemed like the right thing to do, you know. If you could sing that, you know. I mean, I've heard of people getting thrown out of the House of Representatives for reading the Declaration of Independence. Okay? But to sing it, and it's not a very poetic document. I had to like play around with it a little bit. Okay? But all the right stuff is in there.
Wow.
I mean, that's there. It gives us the right to do exactly what we're doing right now.
Wow.
So if you could sing it, I thought to myself, maybe you'd have something.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. When did you write it?
Not too long ago. So my egg pie was back there frying. I was having my afternoon lunch with Dana Lyons. We were also having some mushroom soup. That was so good, nearly knocked me for a culinary loop. And I was starting to settle. And my brain is starting to fog. And I'm feeling like one of them mushrooms growing on one of them logs. I know there's some people coming in. I hope there's some people coming in to come in and see the show. I don't know why else they'd come into a place like this, but I suppose we'll find out and know. It's a beautiful theater in there. We got seats and stairs and a place to stand up and play guitar. Parking lot outside if you want to park your car. There's a drugstore down the street if you need a battery. But you have to eat some almonds first. Jordan almonds. I don't know who Jordan was, but they named some candied almonds after him. Poor guy. So to everybody out there in YouTube land, I want you to know so that you'll understand that this is Dana Lyons' TV show, and he'll have almost anybody on here, don't you know? I was just passing by outside. He said, "Hey, my guest didn't show up. Got anything to say?" I said, "Well, I'll think about it. Give me a minute." So I opened up the newspaper to the crossword puzzle, and just like a dog, I started to snort and nuzzle, and I found myself a couple of words that looked cool, and I sat myself down on the piano stool, and I started talking. Dana, he's a sporting kind of fellow, and he recorded it all. I don't know how much is going to wind up on WeTube, UsTube, or whatever they call this thing, but we'll find out later. So this is Dana Lyons and Jim Page coming to you from the back of the roller derby cage. They're out there roller derbying themselves around, getting ready to take over this town of Bellingham. Hot damn. Is that a swear word? Bellingham. Fine place to be. So there you go. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and that closes our first episode of the Jim Page reality TV show. I'm Dana. I'll be filming Jim in his home and wherever he goes. All right,
Wherever
thank you.
I go.
Thank you, Jim. We'll do a show, and I have a feeling we'll do more of these interviews. Cool. Because, I mean, you're content rich, you know.